I may not cross with you, but the Lord your God goes before you.
Be strong and courageous, for the Lord will fight for us.
Up, for this is the day the Lord has given Sisera into your hands.
The sword of the Lord and of Gideon.
Let me die with the Philistines, for the Lord has given me strength.
Where you go, I will go. Your God will be my God.
Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening.
I have sinned. I feared the people and obeyed their voice.
The Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want.
From the wilderness to the promise, from the cry of deliverance to the birth of a kingdom, the hand of the Lord guided his people through every trial, every victory, and every heart that dared to believe. Through Moses came the law. Through Joshua, conquest and courage. Through Deborah and Gideon, deliverance from oppression. Through Samson, strength and redemption. Through Ruth, loyalty and love. Through Samuel, the voice of God once more. Through Saul, the lesson of pride. And through David, the heart after God's own, each of them a thread, woven by the hand of the Almighty, forming the lineage of the Messiah to come. Now, we journey into the land of promise, where battles will be fought, kings will rise and fall, and God's covenant will shine through every generation. Now, after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, God spoke to Joshua, saying, "Arise, go over this Jordan, you and all this people, into the land which I do give to them." The promise that began with Abraham was now within reach. Before Joshua stretched the waters of the Jordan, and beyond, the land flowing with milk and honey. As the priests stepped into the river carrying the Ark of the Covenant, the waters parted before them, just as the Red Sea had parted before Moses. All Israel crossed over on dry ground, a nation born in the wilderness, now walking into the promise of God.
Be strong and courageous, for the Lord will fight for us.
Before them stood Jericho, a city of towering walls and iron gates. But the Lord's command was unlike any the world had known. March around the city once each day for 6 days, and on the 7th day shout, "For I have given you the city." And so they obeyed. The priests blew the trumpets, the people lifted their voices, and the walls of Jericho fell flat before the power of God. Thus the Lord delivered Jericho into the hands of his people, and Joshua knew that victory does not come by sword or strength, but by faith and obedience. Peace filled the land in the days after Joshua, but in the quiet came forgetfulness. The people turned from the God who had delivered them, and darkness crept again across Israel. Yet every time they cried out, the Lord raised a deliverer, a judge, to rescue his people. Under the shade of the palms of Ephraim, a woman of wisdom and courage sat in judgment, Deborah, prophetess of Israel. When the people trembled, she rose and spoke the word of the Lord.
Up, for this is the day the Lord has given Sisera into your hands.
With faith stronger than fear, she led Israel into victory, proving that obedience to God is greater than the strength of any army. In the days when the judges ruled, famine came upon the land. A man named Elimelech left Bethlehem with his wife Naomi and their 2 sons to dwell in Moab. But sorrow followed. The men died, and Naomi was left with her 2 daughters-in-law, Orpah and Ruth. When the famine ended, Naomi prepared to return home. Orpah turned back, but Ruth clung to her.
Where you go, I will go. Your God will be my God.
As Ruth walked away from Moab and all she had known, she carried more than grief. She carried a promise. For every step toward Bethlehem was a step toward destiny. She did not yet know that her obedience would open the door for redemption to enter the world. And so Ruth followed Naomi to Bethlehem, a foreigner among God's people, her heart bound by faith and love. To provide for them, she went to glean among the barley fields. When Boaz saw Ruth's kindness and devotion to Naomi, he showed her favor. He commanded his servants to leave extra grain for her to gather. Boaz was a man of honor, a kinsman redeemer. Through his mercy and Ruth's faith, a new hope was born in Bethlehem, for their son would be Obed, the grandfather of David, from whose line would come the Messiah. In Ruth, we see the faith that crosses nations and the love that mirrors God's own. Her story was woven into the lineage of Christ, a gentle reminder that redemption can begin in the humblest of fields. Ruth 2:12 KJV. The Lord recompense thy work, and a full reward be given thee of the Lord God of Israel, under whose wings thou art come to trust. Generations passed, and Israel grew restless. The word of the Lord was rare in those days. Visions were few. But in the tabernacle at Shiloh, a boy named Samuel served the Lord under Eli the priest. And one night, as the lamp of God still burned, heaven spoke again. As Samuel lay down to rest, a voice called out to him in the stillness, not from Eli, but from heaven itself.
Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening.
From that night forward, Samuel became the voice of God to Israel. The Lord was with him, and his word came to pass through Samuel. God restored his word to the nation. He would anoint kings, speak judgment and mercy, and prepare the way for David, the shepherd who would carry the heart of God. 1 Samuel 3:10 KJV. And the Lord came and stood, and called as at other times, Samuel, Samuel. Then Samuel answered, Speak, for thy servant heareth. But the people longed for a king, and though God was their ruler, he granted their desire. The people of Israel cried out for a king. Though Samuel warned them, their hearts would not rest, and so the Lord granted their desire, choosing a man named Saul, son of Kish, from the tribe of Benjamin. Saul was tall and strong, chosen to lead Israel's armies. And at first the Spirit of the Lord was upon him. He led with courage and brought victory over Israel's enemies. But in time, Saul's heart grew proud. He offered sacrifice without waiting for Samuel and disobeyed the Lord's command. The people grew restless as the Philistines gathered nearby. They said to Saul, Do something. Offer the sacrifice before it's too late. Fear took hold of him, and instead of waiting for the prophet, he took matters into his own hands. The voice of the prophet came to him in sorrow.
I have sinned. I feared the people and obeyed their voice.
And in Bethlehem, among the flocks, a new king was being prepared, a boy after God's own heart. While Saul's glory faded, God's promise still moved forward. His name was David, the youngest son of Jesse. While his brothers served in the army, David kept his father's sheep, singing songs of worship beneath the open sky. But God saw more than a shepherd, for the Lord said to Samuel, Fill your horn with oil and go. I have chosen one of Jesse's sons to be king. One by one, Jesse's sons stood before the prophet. Each appeared strong and worthy. But God said, Do not look on appearance or height, for I have rejected him. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. And Jesse sent for his youngest son, a shepherd boy from the fields. He came simple and unassuming, with the scent of the pasture still upon him. Yet, as he entered, the light of the Lord seemed to rest upon him, and Samuel knew this was the one.
Lord, guide me. Let your will be done. Arise, anoint him, for this is he.
Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brothers. And the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon David from that day forward. The shepherd of Bethlehem had been chosen, and through him God would raise a king whose kingdom shall never end. The armies of Israel faced the Philistines in the valley of Elah. For 40 days their giant warrior, Goliath of Gath, defied the armies of the living God. But in Bethlehem, David, the shepherd anointed by God, was sent to bring food to his brothers. When he heard Goliath's words, faith rose in his heart. "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine," he said, "that he should defy the armies of the living God?" David refused Saul's armor and took only his staff, his sling, and 5 smooth stones from the brook. As he ran toward the giant, he declared, "You come to me with a sword and a spear, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts." The stone flew, struck Goliath on the forehead, and the giant fell face down on the ground. With a single act of faith, God gave victory to Israel, and all knew that the battle belongs to the Lord. The boy they had doubted now stood in victory, not by sword or spear, but by faith in the Lord. And from that day, David's name was known across Israel, not for power nor for pride, but because he trusted in the God who never fails. The shepherd boy who trusted in God became the champion of a nation. For every battle won by faith points to a greater victory yet to come, through the Son of David, the King of Kings. From Joshua to David, God's plan never failed. Through battles and blessings, he was faithful, guiding every step toward the Son of David. Thank you for watching. Don't miss the next episode, Part 7, The Reign of David, our final part of this series. Please like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs encouragement today. Comment below which moment spoke to you the most, and visit our website and shop, links in the description, to support this work and explore more resources. Words are like a seed. When planted in the heart, they carry the power to grow. But when words are harsh, bitter, or false, they poison the soul. They crush what could have grown, leaving only brokenness. But when words are spoken with kindness, love, and truth, life begins again. Hope takes root, healing blossoms, faith flourishes. So choose to speak life, because words shape the future.